This video took a long time to make, but we just got some breaking news. The S&P is moving down significantly because apparently the White House says the 104% tariff on China has already gone into effect at noon. This was posted about 30 seconds ago, as you can see. And in 1 minute, you can see now the S&P is down significantly. But just hear out the rest of the video because I would not sleep for the next few days if I was you. This is getting absolutely crazy.
Okay, so even crazier things are happening in crypto right now as we speak. Matter of fact, not only in crypto, obviously I'm talking about the trade war, as there's basically a deadline for right around now. I mean, a few hours I think we've got left until the US might do some crazy. They might up their tariffs against China by some ridiculous margins. And basically the main reason they're doing that is because China now has gotten some interesting responses. They're apparently not afraid of just going full out. Well, let me just show you.
Oh, I've been reading a lot about these tariffs because obviously 104% tariff against China is a very big deal, and there's been so many fun stories. Like, for example, Elon Musk calling Peter Navarro dumber than a sack of bricks. Just some interesting things are going on right now. A lot of people are attacking Trump. They really, really are. But some of it is warranted, some not. Regardless, why is this the case? Well, President Trump said on Tuesday he is waiting to hear from China before duties of more than 100% take effect, in a sign that he might be open to last-minute negotiations with the world's #2 economic power. Global markets steadied after days of carnage prompted by the sweeping levies, but
it's not just because these tariffs on their own are that big a deal. I mean, a tariff essentially in this sense is calculated by, well, that's actually another fun discussion for later, because the way they're calculating it is what a lot of scrutiny is all about. But let's just say it like this. The tariffs, the issue with that is that people are fearing that it's going to be leading into some sort of recession, or that it's going to completely throw off the balance of the way that trade and the trade balance now, I guess, has looked for the last few years or decades almost even.
And now to continue the whole discussion, the problem with the markets right now is that everybody feels uncomfortable. Why? Because stocks can swing $5 trillion in market cap on the basis of a single post from a single person, in this case here, Trump, which is obviously true. Right now, though, all the different prime ministers, everybody across the world is all looking to talk to the US to negotiate some of these tariff deals. And the interesting point is, out of all this, that even BlackRock has now said they're optimistic about stocks and long-term, they believe it. They believe that AI, for example, can help the U.S. reclaim global leadership. But they also recently stated, let's see if Watcher also posted it. Quickly see if I can find it. Maybe in a second we'll find it, but here goes another one in the midst. China says the U.S. isn't serious about trade talks and warns intimidation, threats, and blackmail aren't the way to engage. Quote, China and the rest of the world are determined to fight the trade war to the end. Here's that second post I just talked about, though. The world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, besides being optimistic on the longer term, says they are increasingly cautious about U.S. stocks, which is quite an interesting thing to come from the largest asset manager CEO or I guess in this case, the largest asset manager, BlackRock. We're not 100% sure who of BlackRock said it. It doesn't say right here. That's a pretty big deal. But I guess from Trump's side, most countries seem to just be accepting it, just accepting quote-unquote defeat or accepting the rebalancing. South Korea says they will not fight back against the U.S. tariffs and seeks to negotiate a new trade deal. Man, I mean, you all know Trump a little bit, right? But one of the funniest things comes is that he said China wants to make a deal badly, but they just don't know how to get it started. It's just interesting. And the Secretary 𝗕𝗓𝘀 says China's escalation, where they said they're going to fight till the end, was a big mistake as the Chinese yuan fell to the lowest level in years. But then I also have to say that the markets have been moving a lot, all right? A lot. Partially also because Trump has been clear that he won't do tariff exemptions in the near term. And after that, offshore yuan fell to the lowest level on records as the trade war escalates. So I could sit here scrolling through, but it's just been up, down, up, down. This is 1 hour ago, almost. S&P is now down over minus 100% points in 1 hour. More than half of today's gain has been erased. Trade deals hopes are fading again because things were looking so good earlier throughout the day, then fell very significantly. But let's quickly grab it after. So a little bit after, though, just 5 minutes ago, U.S. Trade Representative Greer says Trump will not accept a situation where Wall Street is allowed to run the economy. Once again, President Trump is not worried about the stock market, as the stock market's moving in the craziest fashion ever. Because really, when looking throughout the day, this is first about Trump's post about China wanting to make a deal. Here, by the way, President Trump will meet with House Republicans at 1 p.m. Eastern time today. Okay, I was not completely aware of that. There's another post that a lot of people were quoting earlier. Bill Ackman says he is now advocating for a 30, 60, or 90-day pause before the tariffs are implemented tomorrow. Because again, that's why I posted earlier. There's a deadline coming, and it's like right around now. It's like literally now. That's why they're all going on like a very heavy, how do you call it, like negotiation trip or something. They're all coming over to negotiate right now because it's going to affect tomorrow. And the S&P went up a lot. Some are saying because there was talks of some easing going on, but then Trump said again, no pauses, no nothing. We're going to take it hard, so to speak. And then everything just fell back down again. It's been panic all across the board, all right? And he just said that he will not falter based on what Wall Street is doing. What they're doing is not going to make him change his policies, so to speak. That's even scarier because you'd think that the market should fall more based on the fact he says he doesn't give a crap about it falling. We'll also say that U.S. stocks, you can see that we talked about it before, BlackRock cautions about U.S. stocks right now. You can see it does make a bit of sense. Hundreds of U.S. stocks are down significantly. And if all the trade balances are shifted right now, yeah, I understand that U.S. stocks might become a bit of an issue. And just now, the S&P is down 120 points over the last 2 hours, erasing the majority of their daily gains. If market turns red by the end of the day, investor sentiment will be crushed. It is a very, very, very interesting situation that we're in. And I will quickly say, if you want to trade crypto, you can always find 2 links in my description. For example, to Blowfin, WeX, or even Bybit here. You always get some bonuses to trade with. This is, again, if you are trading crypto. And if you've not done it yet, let me quickly go up. It's not working perfectly. There we go. And make sure you press that like button if you haven't done it already. It just helps the channel out a lot. Then something on a completely different angle that I thought was quite interesting. Apparently, the Department of Justice just disbanded their crypto unit, announcing they won't act as the de facto regulators anymore. And again, I'm assuming this is real because CZ just reposted it, but sometimes he might come back on his words and say, hey, this was a mistake. Some pretty big news for Ripple, but I want to dedicate a whole full video to this. It's basically Ripple stating they made a new massive acquisition for $1.25 billion. They basically bought Hidden Road. But if you're wondering why this is such a big deal, I'll make a separate video explaining the details of it because it's so big, it's worth making a separate video about. But I will say there's just so much news that it's almost hard to cover, JP Morgan now expects the ECB to cut rates at 4 consecutive meetings, bringing the deposit rate down to 2% by mid-year. Just to keep you guys in the loop, it's officially past midnight over in China, at least Beijing, China. Trump says he is waiting for China to initiate trade talks as deadline to avoid 50% extra tariff passes. Interesting, huh? Interesting. As Beijing passes midnight, no deal has emerged. U.S. president threatened to impose extra levies unless China withdrew its 34% retaliatory tariff today. But obviously, from China, they said we're not afraid, and these threats won't, hurt them. But I still think it's a very, very interesting situation because now officially the deadline is passed, and I guess today, maybe tomorrow, but let's just say today, we'll see what the repercussions of this are going to be. Another 50% extra on China, or is something new going to come overnight, or what is happening here, man? These last few hours have just been so eventful, so crazy, so wild. But I guess over the next few hours, we shall see. Anyway, lads, I will say it one more time, even though I've already said it basically every single day this week. Stay strong, all right? We know what's coming for us over the next few months. The next few days might be horrible. But yeah, if you're a trader, make sure you don't sleep the next, maybe like week or two, at least anything that Trump now is going to say is going to move the markets by a ton probably. I mean, last few days have been the most volatile days we've ever seen in traditional markets. A lot for crypto as well. Oh, 1 minute ago on The Guardian, Italian PM to travel to US next week to talk tariffs. We already knew that though, nothing new. That's actually funny as well. A lot of these news sources are actually a lot later than we are seeing things over on Twitter. So that's a little fun side note that I've noticed. Man, I have not slipped away from this computer in hours. I'm just seeing every small little detail, every little update, because it's all coming out in real time. And to me, it's very interesting. Oh. Yep. 30 seconds ago, White House says additional 104% tariffs on China went into effect today at noon. Whoa. The White House says 104% tariffs on China went into effect 12 p.m. Eastern time today because China has not removed their 34% tariff on the U.S.
And 1 minute ago, the S&P is now 45 points away from turning red after being up 4.5% 2 hours ago. Buckle up, buckaroo. But yeah, that's about it. I want to post this video as soon as possible.